right, hey everyone. So good to see y'all. And I just wanted to say, what a week we had. Let alone day. MD5, Cursor CLI, and now we have MCP night. So happy to be here. Okay, I'm Eric. I work with developer experience at Cursor, and my screen just turned off. There we go. Okay. I wanted to talk a bit about how we're seeing our users use MCP and Cursor. So to give a bit of a background, here's kind of the rough timeline of how MCP has progressed throughout Cursor. So in November last year, Anthropic puts out the initial specification, MCP is born. A couple of months later, we implement the first version of MCP in Cursor. And I remember thinking, it felt like we were kind of late to the game. In hindsight, we're kind of early. A couple months go by, we maintain MCP as a client in Cursor. We make some small quality of life improvements, etc. But it's not until April we actually implement the next major feature, which is image support for context. And this allows MCP servers like Playwright to actually screenshot your web browser, get that into Cursor, and use that as context. And somewhere in between, vibe coding as a term was invented. Feels like ages ago. Then I think our biggest improvement that we actually made was adding one-click install and OL support, and that was in June. And we learned that this reduced friction by a lot, and I'm going to show you a bit later, and the data. And for those of you who haven't seen it, this is what it looks like. So the add to Cursor button is a deep link. It opens up Cursor, you can accept it, and with the next click, you can actually sign in if you have an OAuth server and get access to all your private data. So looking at the actual usage, there's a pretty clear trend, and it's up and to the right, like it should be. We can see that something happened here in early June and late May, and this was actually when one-click and OAuth was added. So I guess a lesson that we had, and something that to take away if you're building an MCP client, is to make it frictionless and let people get access to the data. Who could have thought? So what I think is even more impressive though is if we move to the next slide, which is going to be user per week, we see it's a bit more stable in terms of the adoption and growth. And I feel like this is very important for the whole MCP community and the ecosystem. And this is what's going to motivate us to actually make Cursor a really good MCP client and a first-class experience. So if we're going to look at what people are actually using in Cursor and the most popular servers, we can see that the most popular ones are mostly DevTools. So the first one is Context 7. It's a great tool if you want to fetch documentation that is relevant to your prompts. And you can also get version documentation, which I feel like is the real power here. So try it out if you haven't already. Supabase is up there too, just managing your Postgres servers and instances on Supabase. I find it really useful myself to get access to my data, specifically sample data from databases, put that into my context when I'm generating either a dashboard or a migration script or any kind of code that's going to mangle some data, and that's when you actually can capture some of the edge cases that you might run into. So yeah, go try it out. Playwright, the de facto browser automation MCP server at this point. Mostly used for web development to gather the context that Cursor can't really see without it. Figma recently released their own MCP server, so you can get the signs, put it into Cursor, and usually one-shot it. I'm not sure if you saw the live stream today with OpenAI. We tried this with a mock-up in Cursor, and it did fairly well. And the last one is GitHub, if you want to get your issues and repos and projects, etc., just general project management. But when looking through this data, I made an interesting observation. And there's one server that is used a lot that I don't, it is an honorable mention. So I'm curious to get, how many here have used LinkedIn MCP server? Yes, that's what I'm saying, me too. Obviously, I had to investigate deeper and see what is this about? So after some quick searching, I found the server, I installed it, the cursor, and I could see this. These are the available tools. And I was kind of disappointed. I need to be able to post to LinkedIn from Cursor, right? About all my B2B SaaS learnings. So, naturally, I took the matters into my own hands and built a small MCP server for this. So, demo gods. Okay, we're in here. This server has one tool, it's called Post, and you can also attach images. So let's see here, let's try to rip it. Got this image. Let's try to send it. So what's going to happen under the hood is starting up a Playwright server, and it's going to essentially go to LinkedIn, fill in all the fields, and it's going to wait for me. I implemented a dry run, so I'm not actually posting it. If you're there, you can always turn off dry run. Cool. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Look at that. Sweet. Let's go ahead and post it. All right, that's all for me. Thank you all so much, and thank you for organizing this.